This 2022 University of Maine Alumni Achievement Award is sponsored by Penobscot Financial Advisors.
Hello everyone, I'm Julia Muncie, class of 2002. In the early 1960s, the late Mike Roy and other members of the class of 1942 established an endowment fund to annually honor a member of the University of Maine faculty. Mike and his classmates did not want this to be just any award. They wanted it to be the most prestigious award a UMaine faculty member could receive. So they created the endowment fund and built it up to the point where each year the Distinguished Maine Professor honoree receives a check for $4,200, a nod to the class of 42. 10 years ago, Mike Roy and his remaining classmates passed the torch to my class, the class of 2002, and asked us to take responsibility for keeping the endowment fund well-fueled. The Alumni Association has also taken a financial interest in making sure that the Distinguished Maine Professor honorees, past and present, are celebrated for the roles they have played in elevating the University of Maine's quality, value, and reputation. On behalf of the class of 2002 and in honor of the class of 1942, it's my pleasure to congratulate the 2022 Distinguished Maine Professor, Dr. Daniel Sandweiss.
Most administrators, and I'll include myself in this, become administrators. And Dan remained a scholar as well as an administrator. He's endlessly curious. He always wants to know more, find out more, discover more, make more connections. And that's really what's characterized his work as a scholar and a researcher, that he persistently connects things that other people don't think to connect.
Dan is a preeminent New World archaeologist. Dan has worked a lot in Peru on Peruvian coastal settlements, thousands of years old, and then Dan started using the archaeological data to identify El Nino. That was the first time it had been done. He showed that El Nino is at least 9,000 years old and that it varied in intensity, as it still does today.
Dan's commitment to his research work as an archaeologist in Peru has really global implications. It's grounded in Peru, yes, but that's certainly not where its significance begins or ends.
Dan Sandweiss's work in Peru and all around the world, he brings that back to Orono, Maine, and he helps put us on the map. What's fascinating about archaeology and the kind of work that Dr. Sandweiss does is that he digs into the past to help us learn and understand the future. With his interest in climate change, he is able to learn from the archaeological work that he does and predict and project and help us to understand our planet and how it may change over time, and for that we're very, very grateful.
Dan's research is certainly an independent endeavor, but it's also a very collaborative one. And he has created opportunities for graduate students throughout the time that he has been here. He's also very generous with younger scholars.
Dan is my advisor, mentor, and I would have to say role model. He had just finished up being dean and he was going back to being professor, and my undergrad advisor was diagnosed with and passed away with pancreatic cancer. Yes, the late Brian Robinson. Unbeknownst to me at the time, Brian had gone and spoken with Dan about taking me on as a student. I had never met Dan before, we had never interacted before, and Dan just very graciously accepted that and took me under his wing, and we've been going pretty strong ever since. It's been a really interesting journey, and I don't know if a lot of advisees can say that they've seen their advisor go through growth as a human, and I've been able to experience that with Dan.
As outstandingly professional Dan is, he's really wonderful personally too. If you were to meet him in a food store or something, you would never guess of his reputation, his standing in his professional field. He's always respectful, got a good sense of humor, and I just know personally he's just very easy to work with, and not all collaborators are like that.
I don't know how Dan functions daily. He is involved with so many committees and activities. I would have to imagine that his calendar is just stocked so full, he has every time slot pretty much filled with everything. And he still finds a way. Whenever you ask if he has time to meet, he'll find a way to fit you in and give you the amount of time that you need to really discuss what you need to talk about and help move you forward, as well as helping out people who aren't even his advisees. He does so much for everyone.
Dan is an interesting combination of very cautious and very confident. One would think that those two things wouldn't occupy the same space in the same person, but for Dan they do. He is cautious and careful, and that gives him, I believe, the confidence to know that he's right and to be able to express that in a really compelling way.
He excels in all dimensions of the university professor's role. He is a fantastic teacher, well loved by his students, and he engages in public service and community leadership. He's active in professional societies for his field. He does a lot of work in a variety of communities. He's just a star, and I couldn't be more thrilled that he's won this award.
Dan, I'm so very proud of you for winning this wonderful award. It's so richly deserved.
You exemplify what we value here at the University of Maine. A scholar, a teacher, a community-engaged person.
You've been recognized across your career with many awards, many forms of recognition. Your national leadership is phenomenal.
You're so much more than an advisor. You're a friend and a role model, not only to me, but to all of your students, past, present, and future. And on behalf of all of us, thank you.
I am so honored to receive this award. I've been at the University of Maine for almost 30 years, and this is my home. This has made my career with such great people and such a great environment to do interdisciplinary work, to have interdisciplinary students. When I was hired, it was a dream job. They offered me a joint position in what is now the Climate Change Institute and the Anthropology departments, two outstanding units. And I've had just wonderful colleagues, wonderful students, and a really great time in my 30 years here. I couldn't imagine a better place to have pursued my career. I'm far from done. It's just too much fun to stop doing it. But I am incredibly grateful to be given this award. It is so meaningful to me, given that this is my home.
This 2022 University of Maine Alumni Achievement Award is sponsored by Penobscot Financial Advisors.